This was in the 1930s, I assume.
I was
the
born
late
in
30s?
1932.
So
And
this was before World War II, probably.
oh yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Gosh, yeah. I
But
remember that.
at that time, it was really something from somewhere in this area to get to go to Memphis. I mean, you know, it really took a really bright person. And we were all so proud of Ennis for doing that.
Well, Emily, do you remember my dad, Mark?
Oh, of course I know.
Tell me something
I
about
mean, I knew that whole family.
Well,
I mean, you know, we grew up with
Yeah,
them.
well, I don't know much about my dad, so.
Oh, well,
Tell me what kind of person he was and what he did, you know, how you knew him and.
I knew Bob probably more than any of them. Bob came to see us. He visited us that time. But Mark, no, there were so darn many kids in the family, and we were just always together. You know, as far as individuals go,
Well, Mark to me was always just so sweet and kind. He had kind eyes like you guys have. He did. He did.
Okay. But, you know, individual things, we were always together. And out at the country club, you know, and all the fun times we had there. So,
And I was telling him how, you know, we'd get together real often. The family would get together,
yeah.
and they all lived here. None of the children ever moved away.
But you didn't know the country club, right? You didn't know any of that business. Okay.
Well, the country club was a lake out here. The lake's still there, but that's where, and they built a clubhouse, and people would go out. It wasn't fancy like a country club, you know. It was just a place that we'd go in, like on Sunday evenings. Everybody would go and they had their chuck boxes, and everybody would cook out, and we'd just visit, and the kids would swim, you know. And it was not a real fancy place, but a fun place. We had a lot of fun out there, and Uncle June managed that. He did rock work out there. He did beautiful rock work out there. That's still
That's what I
there.
heard, that he,
Come join us
he
then.
was a carpenter. I heard the word carpenter, but I guess working with blocks is a.
He could do anything, I think, but he did
And
beautiful.
Did
I'm
waiting on
did
coffee.
the boys do that too? Did Enos and Mark and them work with?
I don't remember. No, I don't remember
See, I don't
working
know
at the
that
club.
either.
Okay.
No.
I think they were gone by
Yeah.
the time Uncle
Yeah.
June.
No, I don't remember all the beats.
So did
Go
you know
ahead.
Jean very well? She was the youngest.
Oh, I
That's-
love Jean.
Oh, yeah. Oh, well, yeah. Who didn't love Jane?
Everybody loved Jean.
What can you tell us about her when she was growing
Oh,
up?
she's so pretty and so sweet, so kind. She's just a wonderful person. And when they lived out at the country club, well, Jean came in her senior year and lived with us. And I just ran around admiring her all the time.
Came in from where to live with you?
She just came from out. The country club is out about what, 15 miles.
Well, it seemed like it was forever to me when I was little. I kept waiting.
Yeah,
So for the
to
next,
get there.
So did they
And
live
so-
out there then?
They lived.
Oh,
there.
yeah.
Uh-huh.
Oh.
And
that
so
was
then
for a
Jean-
long time.
Jean just came in through the week when she was a senior
I see.
and went to school with them. Oh, she was a lovely person, lovely
Very
person.
soft-spoken. Yeah.
Kind. All your family, they were kind people, sweet, loving children.
Well, Madeline was more spirited.
Yeah.
Could you tell us a bit more about Madeline?
More about Madeline?
Mhm.
Well, she taught over in Borger
Uh-huh.
when we were there. And my mom used to babysit for her kids so that she could go to work. And one of the kids gave her mumps. My mother never had the mumps. The mother said she thought she was going to die, you know. But anyway, yeah. And Kelly, you know, he was principal there.
Ernest,
So-
I mean, Ernest.
Uh-huh.
But his last name was Kelly, wasn't it? Right, Ernest?
His last name's Kelly,
Yeah.
yes,
So what was life like here during the Depression?
Well, you know, I was so young that I was so dumb, I didn't know we didn't have any money. I mean, I just didn't know it, you know, but I'm sure it was really hard, you know. My dad sold insurance, and I can imagine it was very difficult to try to get someone to buy insurance when they didn't have enough money to buy food, you know, very difficult. But he always managed and kept us all together, educated us all. We all got a good
It
education.
seems like education was a very significant
It was.
objective here for.
Yeah, even in
That's
Clarendon,
That's
sure.
right, it was,
Yeah,
uh-huh.
it was
Very.
Clarendon College.
Very important.
But my dad had his own oil drill, you know, wildcat drilling with, and he traveled all over, even into Utah, to drill wells. But when the Depression hit, he lost the rig. So we all moved in with our grandparents who had strokes at that time. So Mother took care of them. And my brother and I were both born at our grandparents' house. And Daddy
Which
would,
grandparents were these? What was
Taylor, Henry Webster Taylor.
You moved in with Henry Taylor.
That was our grandfather. Yeah,
I
we
know.
lived with him.
I
Yep.
didn't know that. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Uh-huh.
And but Daddy would leave to find jobs and pick up jobs wherever he could, and then bring back to the family, you know, what he could earn. But yeah,
But
times
I'm
were
sure
hard.
life was hard. I'm sure it was very
I
good.
know my father sent a lot of money back. He didn't make much money. They didn't
But
pay
I
well,
think
so
he
that-
sent a lot of money back to him.
I think he did. Yeah.
I think he
helped
did,
out with
too.
education too for some.
I think
Oh,
so.
other
sure.
ones.
Yeah.
I bet he did.
Yeah.
I bet he did.
Yeah, gosh.
Well, now you tell us some more, honey, about your impression of your mom. Wasn't she lovely?
Oh yeah, you know, I'm sure there was times that she got upset or angry, but I never saw it. And it seemed like there was one time I heard her raise her voice. And there was one time I ever saw her stand up to my father. And it wasn't in an ugly way. It was just, in fact, I was already grown. Funny little story, but I'll tell it. If you knew my dad, Byron,
Yes.
he was very,
He was good looking. I remember
he was
that.
good, you know, but he was definitely ran the family. He was the head, and he made sure you understood that.
Right.
And he was a good man, but he was domineering. And Mother had to adjust to that. And being as sweet and kind as she was, it wasn't a big adjustment, but she had to adjust. But she would never get upset at Dad. She would just patiently wait on him and patiently wait and serve, and that was just her nature. She was teaching in Oklahoma, and I was living with him at the time. And Dad sometimes would be very critical of different situations or critical of people. And one of the days he came in there, and I was sitting at the table, and he had come in from the garage and said, "That gum Jean, she just gets in that car and she just puts the key in it and drives. She doesn't check the oil, doesn't check the tires. She just gets in and goes." And of course she's in there within earshot there in the kitchen, just patiently fixing the meal. And she comes in and sets the meal on the table. She says, "Well, I'd have you know that when you come home, you expect dinner to be served." Says, "When I get in the car, I expect it to go."
Good.
I thought, good for you, Mom. Good for you.
Right on.
Good for Jean. Way to go. Way to go. Absolutely. Oh,
But
that's
she was
neat.
very, very sweet.
Now,
very
they were
funny.
the Eagle Scouts, weren't
Yes,
you? Yeah,
yes.
okay, I remember all that. Mother always was emphasizing the Eagle Scout bit.
Well, tell me where Diane is now.
Diane and her husband live in Big Spring, but they spend a lot of their time in a place that they also have in Ruidoso, New Mexico. And her husband Murray is, I guess, he's a deacon in the Methodist Church and spends a lot of his time out in that area. And they're both retired. They spend a lot of their time doing work with the Methodist Church, and plus they started their own missionary mission in Nicaragua.
Oh,
my
wow.
goodness.
And, they started it from scratch and just figured out how to help these people, and they go back every year and do it. And it's pretty well grown into a pretty large thing.
Great.
Diane was the only sister,
Yes.
only girl.
Bless her heart, she had to deal with 5 boys.
She had 5 brothers. Then Diane. I got to meet her. She came to one of the reunions, and I was so glad.
She's just now been diagnosed with Parkinson's.
Oh, no.
Oh,
How old is she?
Oh, I want to say she's 66 or something like
I
that.
said her mid-50s. Huh?
She was born in 49, I think. So whatever that makes her.
What was wrong with Jean?
Just her body gave out. There was really no one particular thing.
Just tired.
Sweet, sweet soul. I'll tell you.
And even to the end, she was just very
Oh, she's
patient.
the great person. My mother loved Jean very much. They were-
I think everybody that knew her loved her. She was
They did.
very, very sweet
This
person.
whole family is a real loving family, and they stayed that way.
And you asked about the Depression. We stayed close, no matter how little. And people, we'd all go, or they'd go out and pick green beans. I remember sitting there all day Ruth's mom canning green beans with others, you know, and snapping them.
See, Uncle June grew a lot of vegetation, so they'd go out and harvest the vegetables.
Granddaddy grew chickens in the back, so they had eggs. All the garden, they grew everything. They were pretty independent and made their own clothes.
Yeah.
So
No, let's do
it
it.
was.
I don't know if next week it's gonna work.
That wasn't unusual back in those days.
No, with the feed sacks, you know, they came in with designs. Yeah, they made their clothes out.